As you can see, she's a gorgeous young woman. She was in The Town with me.
And it's such a great movie. I love that
Thank you very much. And she was fabulous. Yeah.
Jennifer Garner isn't the type to make waves, but when she speaks, Hollywood listens. In an unexpected twist, she's accused Blake Lively of being involved with her husband. Yes, the very same Blake Lively, whose flawless marriage and social media charm have made her America's darling. However, according to Garner, the truth behind closed doors is much darker than anyone could have imagined. Now, the story actually goes way back and involves big names like Ben Affleck, Jennifer Lopez, Anna Kendrick, and even Scarlett Johansson. And Garner claims she knew all along. You see, this Hollywood scandal has been brewing for over a decade, and it's finally reaching its boiling point. It turns out that Jennifer Garner has been harboring some serious resentment toward Blake Lively for years, and it all traces back to one steamy, suspicious film set in 2010, The Town. Back then, Jennifer and Ben Affleck were supposed to be the Hollywood golden couple, happily married with 3 kids, about to hit their 5th wedding anniversary. But behind the cameras, things were already getting messy. And then along came 23-year-old Blake Lively, handpicked by Ben himself to play his love interest in The Town, a film he also happened to be directing. Here's where it gets really suspicious, though. The role Ben Affleck was casting for in The Town? Yeah, it was originally meant for a woman in her 30s, someone with more life experience, someone who fit the grittier, more mature vibe of the film. And Blake was only 23 at the time, so what does Ben do? He just casually rewrites the entire role to make it fit Blake.
I had to read with him again because it was still a stretch, you know, still a 21-year-old girl and they're reading for it. But he did change it and adapt it, make it a little younger so that I could play this part.
Let's be real, that's not just a coincidence. That's commitment. That's a man bending over backward to make sure one specific actress lands the part. And not just any actress. What's even weirder is that Ben was the one writing and directing multiple intense makeout scenes between them. If that doesn't scream red flag, we don't know what does. And Jennifer, she knew something was up from the very beginning, and she was right. Because while The Town was setting box offices on fire, Blake and Ben were setting each other on fire and making it painfully obvious. During the film's press tour, the chemistry between them was palpable. Reporters noticed it, fans noticed it, and even Hollywood insiders whispered about it. The giggles, the stolen glances, the full-on flirtation, it was happening right in front of everyone's faces.
And I was nervous the night before, and I remember talking to Jeremy, and so I thought, I don't know what's gonna happen, and he said, it's just all in the eyes. That was it.
That's all I ended up in the scene.
And then, just like clockwork, Blake suddenly called it quits with her longtime Gossip Girl co-star boyfriend, Penn Badgley. A random breakup right as her chemistry with Ben was reaching a fever pitch. The timing was just way too convenient. Now, of course, once this piece of news hit the internet, many people pointed out a pattern of behavior. And it turns out, that pattern has more to do with Affleck than Blake. Let's rewind to another juicy chapter in Ben Affleck's dating timeline. Back to 2003, when he was engaged to none other than Jennifer Lopez. Things were going pretty well between the two. And then, something very interesting happened. Ben filmed Daredevil with Jennifer Garner, and the tension between the two hit new heights.
I feel like I might have to kick
There we go.
You don't want her to kick your ass, man.
Why? I wasn't talking to you. It was like,
but
she's protected.
she's very protective of him.
Soon after this incident, both of them magically ended up single, and then together. Now, we're not saying history repeats itself, but let's just say that old saying, how you get him is how you lose him, hits a little too close to home. Fast forward to 2010, and Jennifer Garner found herself on the other side of the betrayal. By then, she and Ben were married with 3 kids, trying to maintain their power couple status. Of course, then came The Town, then came Blake Lively, then came all the rumors and that undeniable chemistry between her husband and his much younger co-star. According to insiders, she knew something inappropriate was going on, but for the sake of their family, she bit her tongue and tried to hold it all together. Meanwhile, the evidence against Ben and Blake just kept piling up. It wasn't until 2014, though, that Jennifer made a move that confirmed everything. Ben was offered a role in a film with Ryan Reynolds, Blake's then husband, and Jennifer flat out forbade him from taking it. Why? Because if Ben took that role, it meant she'd have to interact with Blake Lively at industry events, and she refused. As one insider spilled, Jennifer Garner forbade Ben Affleck from working on the film with Ryan because she knew she'd have to interact with Blake Lively again after their affair. Let's be clear, this wasn't just some petty, jealous wife move. This was a woman who had a very real reason to keep her husband far away from another woman. Of course, Blake eventually moved on. First with Leonardo DiCaprio, and eventually with Ryan Reynolds, crafting that picture-perfect marriage for Instagram. For Jennifer and Ben, though, the damage was already done. The trust was broken, and Ben spiraled, leading to even more inappropriate behavior, culminating in that now infamous nanny scandal. Safe to say by 2018, the marriage was officially over. So, was Blake Lively the reason for Jennifer and Ben's divorce? Maybe not the only reason, but was she one of the reasons? Oh, absolutely. Blake Lively might have the ultimate Hollywood glow-up, but behind the scenes, she's left a trail of A-list wives in her wake. Now, if you thought that was bad, just wait until you hear how she sank her perfectly manicured claws into another committed man. Scarlett Johansson's husband at the time, Ryan Reynolds. Let's rewind to 2008. Ryan and Scarlett were the golden couple. Gorgeous, wildly successful, and freshly married after a whirlwind 6-month romance. But the ink on their marriage license had barely dried before Blake entered the picture. It was 2010 when she was cast as Ryan's love interest in Green Lantern, and from the very beginning, the vibes were suspicious. People on set couldn't ignore what was going down because it wasn't even happening in the shadows. As one insider spilled, Ryan and Blake weren't just filming together, they were sneaking off, leaving their trailers to book hotel rooms, alone. Even during press interviews, their chemistry was undeniable.
Why are you filming? I'm disappointing everyone.
Hey, that's tough, but apparently, it's a TV show.
And it's pretty clear Scarlett knew. When the Green Lantern premiere rolled around, she didn't even bother showing up. Instead, Blake and Ryan walked the red carpet together, looking way too cozy for a pair of people who were just co-stars. And then, exactly 1 month later, Ryan and Scarlett were done. Now, Scarlett has never aired out what really happened, but she's made it very clear that she hasn't forgotten. One source spilled that Scarlett has gone out of her way to avoid Blake completely, even skipping events where she knew Blake would be present. Now, here's where things get really shady. Blake has somehow managed to pull this off twice. First with Ben Affleck, then with Ryan Reynolds. Both times, she cozied up to a leading man who was already in a committed relationship. Here's the thing though, Blake's drama isn't just limited to stolen husbands and broken marriages. Turns out she's known for her pick-me behavior, which is just as messy on set as it is in her relationships. And no one knows that better than Anna Kendrick. You see, both Anna and Blake had to play besties turned enemies in the film A Simple Favor. It turns out the real drama wasn't happening on screen, it was happening behind the scenes. From day one, things were icy. Anna Kendrick, known for being quirky, funny, and just generally likable, reportedly could not stand Blake. Why? Because according to insiders, Blake was a full-blown diva. She was always late to set, acted like the crew existed just to cater to her. Not to mention, she would bring that whole, "I'm the star of the Blake Lively show" energy to every scene. You best believe Anna wasn't having it. The tension was so thick, you could feel it, even in interviews.
Look at the body language experts analyzing this right now. How quickly do you...
Don't touch me.
Fans picked up on how awkward their press tour moments were. Anna looked like she was gritting her teeth anytime she had to pretend to be buddy-buddy with Blake. She even once joked about muting Blake on Instagram.
There's a couple people that I have muted.
Good.
Yeah. Blake Lively. You can mute people on Instagram?
Yeah, it's a new feature.
Really?
I know. Get excited.
Wow.
And here's where things get really interesting. When the film wrapped, Anna barely acknowledged Blake on social media. Then, when A Simple Favor 2 was announced, the internet went wild with speculation. People were straight up begging Anna to drop out of the sequel, saying they wouldn't watch it just because Blake was involved. And honestly, can you blame them? Jennifer Garner clocked the Blake Lively effect years ago. Guess some wives just have better instincts. What do you think about Blake Lively being exposed by yet another Hollywood star for cheating with her husband? Let us know in the comments. And if you liked this video, be sure to check out some of our other content on Blake Lively's past shenanigans that have now come back to bite her.